Hello, everybody. It's Jose with Raiden Emery Photography. I'm going to be doing a little tutorial on something I've been doing a lot on some recent images, which is color toning on black and white images. That was the one that everybody seemed to like on that page that I posted it on, Photoshop and Lightroom page. Shout out to you guys. Um, sorry, kind of sick. I'm not used to doing tutorials, so sorry if I ramble or anything. I will try to keep it simple and uh, effective, I guess, or understandable. But this is yeah, let's just get right into it. I'm not used to doing this, so bear with me here. Um, so this is the image I'm going to be working on today. It's a black and white image shot underwater with a GoPro Hero 4. It's a little low contrasty. It's a good base to start with. You don't want it too dark, but you can, as long as you have a good balance between lights and darks. The layer blending modes, which I'm going to be playing with, are going to work a lot better as long as there's a nice even contrast, not too heavy, not too light, because you're going to change that anyway. But first thing I want to do with this, since there's a lot of even gray everywhere, I want to try and darken the parts that I'm gonna color tone in the shadows, so that way the color actually seeps into it a little bit better. If it's gray, it's gonna be everywhere. It's all gonna be one color. Um, so what I want to do is go down here to adjustments and levels. There we go. If you haven't used levels before, right here shows a nice little histogram of the picture. This is the darks, the lights, and the overall exposure is right here. And if you grab this little black slider, any information in the dark side gets slowly cut off, so the darks get darker, like so. And over here, any information in the whites gets cut off, so it's almost like, blowing out the whites and getting more white in the whites, I guess. But that's not what I want to do, because I like the little details in the bubbles here. I don't want to lose that. So what I want to do is make the darks a little darker. So we can go a little bit past it, because if you go over here to the opacity, you can, reduce the effect later. But for now, I like where this is going. So I'm going to put it right here. I might change that later, but we'll see. Kind of making this up as I go along. But that should work for now. The next thing you want to do is you want to use. There's a few ways to color tone, but one of the easy ones is color balance adjustment layer. So here you have a few different color palettes to play with. It's all the main colors: cyan, red, magenta, green, yellow, and blue, opposite of each other. And it gives you the option of changing midtones, which is pretty much everything. You know what I mean? Just about everything in the image gets changed when you do that. Bring that back to 0. You have your shadows, so you can darken. You can color from the dark side first, and it'll leave a little bit more of the white alone for now. And as you can see, it doesn't necessarily uh, differentiate too well for you. So we're going to do a little something with layer blending modes later to fix that. Because for now, if you turn the blue up, it tends to get into your highlights anyway. So um, since it's underwater, what I want to do is make this look a little bit more underwatery. Give it a good color. So I like beaches in like the Mediterranean with that nice kind of like bluish green water. That's kind of the feel I want to go for. I'm gonna take the shadows and like don't worry about the color seeping for now, because the layer blending mode's gonna take care of that. But so you want to get a nice visible color in your shadows first. Get the color the way you want it. That's a little too green. And there we go. A little more cyan. about there. Now, like right there, you might be like, ah, that's a little extreme, isn't it? But here's the thing. Now, what I'm going to do is come over here and double click this layer for the color balance. Preferably not on the name, because then it's going to be like, oh, you want to change the name? No, I don't. And right here, this is the blend if thingy. I don't know like terms. I like taught myself all this crap. But if you hold the Alt key, actually first I'll just show you what it does. On this underlying layer bar, it's going to show. It's almost like a layer mask. Like it's going to show on the darker side if I move this. So you see up here how it starts kind of like taking it away from anything that's lighter than where I'm moving the slider. And like right there, it looks kind of crappy and messy, and you're like, why the hell would I use that? The reason is, you see how there's a little split in the slider? If you hold the Alt key, you can see it kind of labeled there with the little tooltip. You can split this and start to blend it. See how it's kind of changing more evenly now? You can blend it where you want it. I'm going to bring it all the way down. And then from here, you can start taking it out of your highlights. Right now, it looks a little weird because, I'm moving it into adding gray into the highlights because I haven't added a color for the highlights yet. So it looks a little funky. I'm going to leave it there for now. I might come back to it. Now let's play with the shadows again. Get this color the way I want it. A little more extreme. Take a little green off. A little more blue, and it's already looking pretty cool, right? You know what I mean? Like you're really feeling the underwaterness of it. And for now, that should be good. So let's make another one, another color balance layer. And this is going to be the highlights. Actually, let me rename this just for the sake of being organized. Shadow color and highlight color. Bam. All right, now we're going to get our highlight color. And since it's kind of a tealish, the opposite of that is going to be kind of a, like the complementary color is going to be kind of a orangey kind of feel. So you don't want just yellow like this. You want a bit of yellow, pink, and red. Maybe a little more green. Yeah, like that. Just like that. Feel free to make it a little extreme because the blending mode is going to fix that in a minute. And also you can, turn the opacity up and down if it's a little much. But here we go. That looks pretty cool. Okay, now you'll notice it's kind of turning everything else a little bit green. It's because I haven't blended it in yet. So we'll go in here and take it out of our shadows. Maybe that's a little too far. Let's go. I like to move it a little fast, that way I can like see it. Right about there. Take it out of the really dark parts. There we go. Good. Now, go back in here. Maybe a little less orange, a little more. See? This whole color balance layer thing is pretty much just play around until you find what you like. You can maybe even try a little bit of the midtones now that you added the blend mode anyway. End up with something a little bit like this. I'll turn the opacity down on that just a little bit. Go in here. That looks pretty good. Let's turn this a little bit. It's not too dark. There we go. And let's group these together. Actually, leave that one out. These together so you can see the adjustment. Pretty cool, huh? A little bit of color there. Now, another way we can do that. It's kind of a cheap trick because you're not really in control of what colors it uses. It's kind of like these weird presets that are hidden in this funky spot in Photoshop. But call that the color balance trick. We're going to turn that off real quick. The other way you can color tone is in here, color lookup. I don't know if anybody's ever clicked on this, but this weird little 3D coloring menu. You can go through here and try out these little different looks. A lot of them can be black and white, bleach bypass sensor, just blow the crap out of the highlights. There's candlelight. There's a bunch of different looks you can play with. You can get away with, just picking one of these and turning the opacity down. You get a nice antique look. But there's a bunch of ways you can use that. And then, let's see. No. Horror blue. Aha! Here we go. That's pretty much the color I was trying to get. Let's take that and put it just in my shadows again. Boom. Like so. Boom, boom, boom. And sometimes if the effect isn't quite as deep a color as you want, you can pretty much just duplicate the layer, maybe make the top one a little thinner. You get more color that way. And it'll be the same layer blending that you did because you just duplicated the layer, so you get the same settings, which is awesome. Now we just need that yellow. And you can do it the same way. You can use the color lookup again and maybe find something a little more orange, maybe the candlelight thing. That's pretty decent. And you can do the same thing. Personally, I like the color balance way because you can really feel for yourself exactly what it is you're doing. And that doesn't really look too natural, so no, I don't really like that. Let's get rid of that one. Let's add the color balance and do it this way. Boom, boom, make a nice little extreme change in the color real quick. Just to, ooh, that looks neat. Okay. And boom, boom, take it out of the shadows. Like so. Bam. So let's group these together and see if there's any difference, because you can make both. You can make both match. They're both really moldable techniques to do it. Oop, that's both together. So there's the color balance, and there's the color lookup. Now, if we say the color lookup looks more natural and better, we can actually just kind of try to replicate it here in the color balance. Boom, boom, boom. So, how about an extra shadow layer? Same blending. Turn this down a little bit. Or kind of a lot, actually. Yeah, and you can pretty much replicate the exact same trick on both. So that goes to show you don't always have to take the simple shortcut to do it. Once you learn the tricks to kind of doing it yourself through things like color balance and like really knowing which colors you're picking and how it's blending in, because the color lookup kind of does it by itself. but it's a little out of control sometimes, so you have to get creative and kind of fix it. But personally, I like this color balance. You can tweak that pretty much any way you want, and you're going to get exactly what you're looking for. And the most important part is definitely right here. Playing around with this is going to get you colors and even dodge and burn. I might make a separate video for that, but this right here is going to get you color toning images however you want, whenever you want, in any way you want, and it's going to be really fast. So definitely play around with this right here. And again, the way to get to it is any layer you're on, double click on the layer itself away from the name so it doesn't ask you to rename it, and go down here to underlying layer. And that's the little magic trick. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Make sure to follow my Instagram at Raiden Photos and like my Facebook page at Raiden Emery Photography. Hope you guys like that. Let me know if you want to see more of that in the comments. More tutorials from me. I'll probably get a little better at it, hopefully, so I'm not rambling on and on about random crap. So yeah, enjoy and have fun with the magic. Bye-bye.